What's going on, everybody? If you're seeing this page, that means the official Taurean Rain Reloaded merch store is now available. To get access to the store, make sure you go ahead and click the store tab on my YouTube channel. From there, you will be able to see all the merch that is available. We have mugs, shirts, hoodies, joggers, and so much more to come. All original designs made by yours truly, Taurean Rain Reloaded. Now go ahead and get your merch today, and you can feel nothing in style. There's a quote that Maya Angelou said, and I think we all know what quote it is. When someone shows you who they are, believe them. All I can say is, are the people who voted for this man, how do you feel now? Do you even care about what he did or what he's doing for other groups of people? And not a damn thing for you. When I saw this article that I'm about to read, that's immediately what came to mind, and it makes me so glad to know that I am unaffiliated with either party, so they can't use the little Jedi mind trick on me. So this story that I'm reading from is coming from fox9.com, and it's titled "President Biden Launches Rural Investment Plan in Minnesota." Now, when we hear the word rural, we already know exactly what demographic that is. Just like when they want to talk about black people, they'll say inner city or urban. When they say rural, they mean PC. And it's usually a small area at that. It's not a big metropolitan area. But it says he launches a rural investment plan in Minnesota. I'm recording this video on November 3rd, 2023, and the article was posted November 1st, 2023. The president made remarks and talked to folks in the crowd at Dutch Creek Farms near Northfield. Third-generation owner Brad Kluver introduced Biden and said the administration has already helped his family business. So this is just one, excuse me, this is just one person that we're talking about so far, but there's going to be more for sure. I've already read some of this article, so I already know what number they're going to give. Many of you have no idea how much money this rural area is about to receive, but it's a lot. The president started by discussing evacuations in Gaza, but eventually got to the purpose of his visit here. He blamed 40 years of trickle-down economics for the demise of rural communities as companies had to get bigger and competition reduced, claiming that today 7% of the farms get 90% of the income. Now he said 40 years. 40 years, that's going back to the early 80s. Like 1983, that's 40 years right there. Black people, especially black Americans who went through so much prior to 1983. And they say that we deserve nothing. Our ancestors had their farms stolen from them, got nothing in return, just snatched. A lot lied in order to pull that off. Professor Black Truth actually talked about that in one of his Moment of Truth videos that he did a while back, about the man who had to go through like 12 years of legalities just to get his family's farm back because of something one of those PC individuals did back in the day to his ancestors. But they are going back to 1983, which is still fairly recent, and they're getting something. Yet when it comes to us, pull yourself up by the bootstraps. I told Rob over at Blacklight Revelations in his chat on one of his live streams that he did, I said we are living in an endless double-edged sword scenario where on one end of the sword our stuff was stolen from our ancestors' stuff was stolen from them or destroyed, and then on the other hand, when we demand an assist, they say pull yourself up by your bootstraps, to take no accountability for the involvement there. None. But look at what's about to happen in Minnesota, if it hasn't happened already. And we haven't even gotten to the number and the figure that they're going to get, because this article I'm reading is going to mention it. So the president highlighted his administration plan to change that, embracing the term Bidenomics. Now, we all know that that term is not an original one. The first time that term that I've ever heard it be used was Reaganomics. Of course, I wasn't alive during Ronald Reagan's administration. By the time I was born, he was already out of office. And when I was born, it was under Bush Senior administration. So pay very close attention to that, because to my knowledge, Reaganomics was horrible for black people. I don't expect it to be any different under this so-called Bidenomics either. Now watch this, what I'm about to read, because this is going to tell you how much. He wants to invest more than $5 billion to help agriculture businesses adapt to climate change, as well as expand high-speed internet access and improve infrastructure. He said he wants to invest more than $5 billion. And look at this. It has nothing to do with any outreach programs. It has nothing to do with education or any other that bullshit that they try to feed to black people all the time. They're not bringing in outside people saying, hey, we're giving it to you, but in order for you to get it, we got to get it to these people as well. It's just specifically for them, for something that's been going on for 40 years, even though our condition has been going on way longer than that. But like I said, this is who they voted for. And by they, I don't mean just black people, because there's no way in hell Biden would have gotten an office on just black people alone. So I have to throw out that disclaimer. A lot of people like to throw this into just black people's face when Biden got elected. Trust and believe, it wasn't just black people who did it, because if it was only left to the black people, and with the election with Biden, Trump would have got back in for a second term. So I just have to throw that out there. I think a lot of people do that because they have to have something to throw into black people's face. But understand this, it wasn't just black people that helped get him in. It was a lot of people, black people, that voted for him, but it wasn't just on their effort alone. But because guess what? The people who voted for Biden who weren't black are getting something out of the deal. It's about investing in all of America, including rural America, he said. It's about making things in rural America again, and that's exactly what we're doing, so rural America can begin to thrive again. So while they're trying to revive rural America, we're continuously being pushed even lower. They're aiding into the secret of the not so secret invasion of coming over, while we're continuing to be lowered and lowered and lowered. They're sending money overseas to fund this war. They're sending money overseas to fund that other thing that I'm not going to mention on here, while they keep telling us we don't need it. Just be grateful for what we have, which isn't much. Pull yourself up by your bootstrap. And you want to know why I'm why I'm unaffiliated with either party? There you go. There you go. Because what I'm saying right now about Joe Biden can pertain to that other side as well. Biden called his plan the most significant investment in rural America since the Eisenhower administration. The announcement was the main purpose for the visit, but this trip also serves as a chance to shore up support in the home state of Dean Phillips, the Minnesota congressman who announced his primary challenge just last week. Biden attended a fundraiser in Minneapolis Wednesday evening before leaving the state. The crowd at Dutch Creek Farms was mostly made up of Democratic legislators and donors, but we talked to some Cannon Falls FFA members who helped out with the event. They described it as apolitical for them, but potentially a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to get this close to a president. And there it is, and that's the whole article right there. But like I said, to those who voted for him, all y'all can have now is this disappointment in him, but he pretty much laid out what he was going to do before he even got into office. This man said, if you don't vote for me, you ain't black. If y'all didn't take that as an insult, I don't know what to tell you. I think another reason why, even though I just went on my little rant about him not being only supported by black people, he couldn't get in just on black people alone. I think another reason why a lot of black people or people in general, mainly black people, go after black people for voting for this man is because this man has a history of anti-blackness. Before he even got into office, all you got to do is look back when he was a senator. All you got to do is look back when he drafted that crime bill, and you have his shills try to duck and dodge and deflect away from that. We're not doing that anymore, because many of them who will shill for him don't even talk about this when I'm talking to you about right now, and they don't get nothing out of the deal either. They don't even get the crumbs off the table. So I don't even know why they're shilling so hard. But I digress. Like I said, I'm glad I'm unaffiliated, so I can come at this from both sides. When the Republicans mess up, I can talk my ish about them. When the Democrats F up, I can talk my ish about them. And when they both mess up, then I can talk about them equally.